Imagine being a doctor and wanting to save a life. You are doing this out of the goodness of your heart. No one is paying you to work overtime because you're on a flight. You are just trying to get from point A to point B. But they announce that a passenger is not feeling well and they need a doctor immediately. You offer your service for free and you get interrogated by an air hostess. Watch this clip of Dr. Jordan. We'll come back and discuss.
Imagine this. You're on a full flight from Istanbul, Turkey to San Francisco, and about 3 hours into the flight, they make an announcement asking for a doctor. They're like, if you're a doctor, if there's a doctor on board, please identify yourself. 5 seconds go by, you realize that you're the only doctor on the plane. You take off your seatbelt, you get up, you're excited, you're ready to, this is what you've been training for. And first thing the flight attendant says to you as he comes over, he's like, wait, are you a doctor? He looks at you kind of weird. You're like, yeah, I am. First, he asks again, you're sure you're a doctor? I'm like, yes, I am. Then he goes ahead and asks for like a medical ID. I'm like, I don't have a medical ID. I don't know what that is really. I can give you my NPI number. And then I pulled out my phone and showed him my work ID, which clearly says my name, says medical doctor on it, or MD, and then says like doctor in huge letters at the bottom. I see that he's pretty reluctant, but he takes me back to where the flight attendants kind of gather, and I meet his colleague who also then questions me, are you a doctor?
Clearly, Dr. Jordan is a patient man. He is patient and to a fault because he let this slide for so long. They were questioning him, they were side-eyeing him, they were telling him things like, are you sure? Can we see your ID? Even after seeing his credentials, they still didn't feel comfortable to let him treat this passenger because he's black. And I know some people will say, are you sure it's because he's black? Yeah, a lot of black doctors backed up his story by saying it happened to them as well.
I had the same exact experience in 2021 flying Turkish airline coming back to the US. They asked for a doctor. I waited for a minute just to see if someone else is gonna step up and help. When no one did, I was like, hey, I'm a doctor. The male flight attendant looked at me. I was like, you're a doctor? I was like, yeah. And then he asked me, what kind of a doctor are you? So I told him I'm an internal medicine doctor. I'm a hospitalist. I take care of patients every day in the hospital, like really, really sick patients. He was not still convinced. He was not happy with my answer. So he asked me for a proof that I'm a doctor. And I did have my work ID with me that day. Don't ask me why. I showed him. He was still kind of like looking at me that way. He went to talk to his colleague. It took him like maybe a minute at most. He came back and he said, it's okay, we found another doctor and he will help the patient. I was like, fine. I did not argue with him. You don't need my help, that's fine. I don't need extra work anyway. I'm gonna go back and take a nap.
Same airline, same story. It is so weird and bizarre that after you show your credentials, because you can say, okay, maybe they need to see his ID or her ID, in that case, the previous doctor that talked about how she was treated. It's fair to ask for ID because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the person that is treating this passenger is a qualified professional. But after they show you their credential, why do you need to ask more questions? That it should end. That should be it. And you should cater to that person because at the end of the day, that person needs assistance. That's why you are asking for doctors on the plane. You clearly can't do it because your job is to attend to the passengers and you're doing that, correct? So if a doctor that is paid to be a doctor, that's his profession, if he's offering himself and showing you his ID and saying, okay, this is my job, now let me take over, why would you interrogate him? It just does not add up and it doesn't make sense other than discrimination, because some white people, doctors, in the comment section said that's a bit odd because most of the time I'm not even asked for my ID if I say I'm a doctor, but when they do ask, that's it ends there. You show your ID, yes, you are a medical doctor and you treat the person. You are there to serve and help someone. No one is paying you. Some doctors were even admitting that they would stay quiet and silent even though someone needs their help in a plane, they say, I've clocked out. I'm not going to do this. I'm on my vacation. I know that's a lot. You know, you would hope that a doctor will offer his or her services when an emergency like this happens. But then again, just like any other job, that's their job. And if they're going to cloak out and feel like they're not going to do it, what else can you do about it or say about it? That is their right to not disclose that information. So some people are not even disclosing that they're doctors, but those that are willing to help others, even though they're on a break or they're tired, jet lagged, why discriminate against them like this? It's so disheartening to see this, because you're also taking away time from the passenger that needs this man's help. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.